Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, Discover How to Keep Your Service at the Heart of the Living Room. It is presented by Dolby and by Broadband TV News and by Orange and by Sagemcom. In a few moments, I'll introduce you to our Dolby expert, José-Antonio Rupérez, followed by Olivier Bougaut, who is with Sagemcom, and finally Ana López, who is Head of TV Product at Orange Spain. And always with these webinars, it's good to get some first-hand information from one of the operators who are actually using the service. There's also an opportunity for you to experience Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos in your very own living room. So hang around and we'll let you know exactly how you can do that over the course of the next 45 minutes or so. I'm Julian Clover. I'm one of the editors at Broadband TV News, and I thought we'd start things off by kind of giving you a bit of a run through, if you like, of some of the recent market developments. It's fairly straightforward. You look out there and you see the streaming services, but also there's edging differences which are gradually taking place, almost like a shifting of tectonic plates, if you like. For example, in the United States, streaming TV has now reached a record high. It did so in July, and it accounted for about 38.7% of total TV usage. At the same time, the linear audience, so broadcasts, say, of NBC, ABC, NBC, and Fox, fell below 50% for the first time, clearly as more and more people are using streaming services and from different devices, not necessarily their cable or satellite provider. The figures, by the way, there come from Nielsen's guide, The Gauge, which gives a sort of a monthly update, if you like, to broadcast usage in the US. Keeping in the United States, Parks Associates are now forecasting that 63% of US internet households own a smart TV. I have to say, it kind of feels a little bit low. You know, you go into any TV shop and you look around you, and the majority of sets there are offering to a greater or lesser extent different smart TV services. But I guess those older sets still have to filter through the market. And I confess that even my smart TV, I checked the other day, I think the model is about 9 years old, and I've had it for 8. So although there again, maybe I'm not such a good reflection of things. We know that streaming is having a bit of a wobble at the moment. It's clearly not going anywhere. The likes of Netflix and Disney Plus and Amazon and Hulu are clearly going to be with us for some time to come. Well, maybe not Hulu, but that's another story. In the UK, the number of households with access to a subscription video on demand service stood at 19.08 million at the end of the first quarter. That's according to Barb. They count all the audience figures in the United Kingdom and their establishment survey, and it accounts to something like 67.4% of total households. The figure is actually down 1.7% on the end of 2022. Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Disney Plus all seeing really small drops. Interestingly, Now, which is Sky's, I used to describe it as a pay-as-you-go service. I don't think that's probably a little bit unfair on them, really, but it's a means to start and stop your subscription to some of the Sky channels on a regular basis. Apple TV also seeing gains. And up in the Nordic countries, we're seeing an interesting development. I don't know if this resonates with Orange at all, but a lot of the operators there are starting to bundle SVOD services, and that's led Finland to become the leading country when it comes to SVOD growth in the Nordic region. This idea, and I guess a lot of operators do it, but I guess the more you get in, it's almost turns into like packages used to be before we started cutting the cord, but bundling in Netflix or Disney Plus or any of the other ones as part of a regular cable, satellite, telco subscription. It's worth mentioning, before I hand over to Jose, it's worth mentioning the arrival, if you like, of the advertising supported services. And it's strange really, because some services, like for example ITVX, which are the public broadcaster here in the UK, or one of them, offers its new streaming service, and they want to convince you to trade up, to pay money to see things ad-free, whereas with Netflix and Disney Plus, they're using with ads as a means to bring more people in at a time when I think in some markets, doesn't apply everywhere, certainly things are perhaps beginning to stall just a little bit. So that's a whistle-stop tour, if you like, of some of the more recent developments. There's so much going on. I would urge you to, if you don't do so already, to keep an eye on Broadband TV News, and we'll try and give you the latest developments on a daily basis. First though, let's hear, shall we, from our Dolby expert for today. There are many Dolby experts, but today our expert is José-Antonio, and he's going to take us through how to keep your service at the heart of the living room. Jose.
Okay, thank you, Julian, for the introduction. As Julian said, I'm José-Antonio. I'm responsible. Sorry. I'm going to try to share my screen. Can you see my screen? Sorry. Can anyone say if you can see my screen? Okay, great. In presented mode? Okay, super. So sorry, I had some technical problems at the beginning. So thank you, Julian, for your introduction. As I said before, I'm José-Antonio. I'm responsible of business development for OTT and operators. And during the course of my presentation, I will address some topics that I'm sure they will captivate your attention. That's what I hope. I will talk about the market dynamics, the relevance of the smart TV platforms, Dolby's value proposition, the industry momentum with regards to audio and image technologies, and finally, I will end with the new formats for enhanced customer experience. Ultimately, the consumers have experienced a remarkable transformation in the offering of the content, not just the vast variety of content, but also in the multiple ways it is accessible and the significant range of playback devices we're consuming. In my opinion, I think it has never been greater than today. When we go to ask customers, this is what they tell us. So the market is providing us some interesting findings. And if you look at the 86%, that means that the customers will pay more for upgraded experiences. So what it means basically that there's a significant room for improvement to fill out customers' expectations. As you know, TV OEMs are exploring new ways of monetization. Recently, it was IFA. I had the opportunity to attend one of the sessions. That was this Monday, and I've heard that there are some TV OEMs that are not profitable with the manufacturing, but with the revenues generated through the services that they are providing, and that really was something shocked to me. As a consequence of it, they are improving significantly all the aspects of the user interface, apps, content, search engines, voice assistants, and I will put especially the focus on the audio and video technologies because they are offering the latest. TV OEMs are determined to deliver the best experiences, even on the mainstream TVs. As we'll see later, and it will be not any longer remain as something exclusive for premium segment, as it used to be in the past. Dolby believes that by offering a better multimedia experience to the consumers, driven mainly by audio and image, the overall customer satisfaction improves significantly. So let's begin by understanding a little bit more how we experience sound in the real world. In our everyday lives, sound comes from all around you, not just in 2 dimensions, like in surround, but in 3, X, Y, and Z axis. And this is why Dolby Atmos is immersive, like in real life. So Atmos positions sounds in the 3 axes. It's worth to say that sound has an emotional impact, and sound plays a key role in crafting during the viewing experience. You know Francis Ford Coppola. Well, obviously, I guess that everyone of us knows him. He stated that sound is 50% of the movie experience. It's such important. So going further, it's fascinating to know that the first sense to develop in our mother's womb is hearing. So this innate connection to sound makes us realize its fundamental role in our lives, making it an essential component of any audiovisual experience. On the other hand, we have Dolby Vision. Dolby Vision unlocks the full potential of HDR for ultra-vivid colors, sharper contrast, and richer details. So HDR is referred to better pixels, not for more pixels. It is possible by adding properties like nuance, shade, brightness, color, luminance, etc. So we basically believe that it's not about 2K, 4K, 8K, etc. It's more about improving the quality of the pixels. Dolby Vision is definitely the best way to describe the picture and guide the TV to display in the most accurate way. It's the best way of mapping both. In the case of metadata, Dolby Vision uses dynamic metadata, describing frame by frame instead of static. And finally, I would say that Dolby Vision optimizes the visuals for consistently color and contrast on any device powered by Dolby. And it is applicable for everything. So from blockbuster movies to the latest game releases and sports, for sure. After all the reasons given, we have come to a point in which the industry has quietly embraced our technologies. Dolby creates ecosystems, and this is a very good representation of what it means. We care from the creation side of the process that you can see in blue color to the last part when the content is consumed in securing the consistency along the process. You can see that represented in red color. In between, there's a very, very important part of the process, that is the distribution. You can see that in purple color. I'm not gonna obviously point out, I'm not going to point out any specific company, but you can see yourself that most of the important players are involved. So due to the extensive adoption of these technologies, service providers can deliver nowadays their content in Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision. And I think it's worth to say that there are 1.5 billion devices deployed on the field nowadays supporting Dolby Atmos, just to give you a significant volume of devices that are capable of playing back Dolby Atmos. Moving forward, the content pipeline is large and constantly growing in all the categories. As an example, the purple color represents Dolby Vision content, and the blue color it's Dolby Atmos. So just if you look at the TV part, you can see there that there are over 17,000 titles in Dolby Vision, plus around 7,000 titles in Dolby Atmos available. But you can see that there are many in each of the categories. So the take on this slide is that if the top content providers are already offering a substantial amount of content directly in Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision, and you have, as an operator, integrated them into your platform, then the heavy lifting is done. So the content is out there, and you can deliver the same experience through your own platform as they are delivering directly in their own apps. So I'll come to it later. On top of the content we have mentioned before, this slide basically reflects what the industry is doing and some of the main sports events that are produced natively in Dolby Atmos and or Dolby Vision, as well as in the below you can see all the players that are, the main players that are distributing that content. So the main international sports events are very well represented there, as you can see. Football tournaments, local leagues like English Premier League, Bundesliga, tennis, Super Bowl, and even the Olympics, that we're going to have the opportunity to watch them next year. So putting the focus on the set-top box industry, there are products available from all major OEMs and SoC vendors, as you can see there. In many cases, they have been supporting Dolby for several years now. What is interesting, as I said at the beginning of the presentation, is that consumers can experience Dolby quality even in the mainstream TVs. And this represents that very, very well. So this is not about premium devices anymore. The consumers can enjoy streaming services that deliver Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision experiences on smart TVs at the price of 200 euros. So at the beginning, I recall when it was about 800 and up. Now it's no longer the case. And here's the point. So consumers can enjoy it directly on the TV in case the set-top box doesn't support these Dolby formats. So they can enjoy it directly on the TVs. So the question is, now that TV OEMs are leveraging smart TVs to openly compete for subscribers' attention, how do you differentiate and remain competitive? So our opinion is that PayTV operators must provide a superior entertainment experience and remain competitive by, first, playing to its strength in content. So clearly they can offer access to OTT, broadcast, VOD, and secondly, up-leveling the content to deliver a best-in-class audio experiences. What we are seeing here is a common case with a mainstream TV. So let's consider the scenario where an individual subscribes to a streaming service such as Disney or Netflix or any other, it doesn't matter. So even if the user owns a mainstream TV, as we saw before, they can still experience content in Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision, as these formats are available in the TV natively. So as you can see in the upper image, it is very clear that you can see in the content information the logos of Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision, on the user value that they are watching the content in those formats. However, if the same TV is connected to a non-Dolby set-top box, the user interface will display just the standard formats, and the viewer basically will miss out a more immersive and enhanced way of enjoying that content. So here's the take: if you are offering in your platform the content from Amazon, Netflix, whichever, the heavy lifting, as I said before, is done. So the content is there, and you have a very straightforward way to keep your customers in your own ecosystem and avoiding them to bypass the operator to access the content directly through the smart TV. So make sure your set-top boxes supports Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. Moving forward, I have explained along the course of the presentation that there are two technologies, Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, that change completely the way customers enjoy content. These technologies can be delivered on different form factors. So one of them are the set-top boxes. And in this family product, we differentiate two categories. So the first one is the regular set-top box, in which customers can rely on having an external speaker system, in the case of audio, but still can deliver Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision. And the second one is related to the new form factors that represent a new device category. So the one we name as integrated set-top box and soundbar, where basically the speakers and the sound and the set-top box are integrated in the same box. So looking at the slide, you can see on the left side the form factor adopted by Sky in the UK, which consists in an integrated smart TV. In the center, it's a more traditional approach embraced by LG U+ in Korea, where the form factor is a regular soundbar with an integrated set-top box. And on the right side, there's a more disruptive approach in a compact format. So this is the case adopted by Orange Spain. It is clear, overall, it is clear that the industry is reinventing the solutions, and these were some examples on how operators and set-top box OEMs are innovating in the market. I would like to say that Dolby will be present at IBC, and we would be delighted to have you visit our booth. And in case you are interested, please feel free to reach out to me via email that you can see there in the slide. And I would like to thank you very much for your attention, and I really look forward to welcoming you at IBC.
José-Antonio, thank you very much indeed for that presentation. I'm interested, I'm interested in all aspects of it really, but just focusing briefly on the picture quality. Would you say maybe that operators should stop thinking about 8K, concentrate on 4K, and get better advantages from working with Dolby Vision at that point, rather than going forward when there's not necessarily even the content at this moment in time?
Yes, absolutely. So it is clear that having operators, in this case, offering an HDR solution rather than 4K. Definitely 4K is a good complement, but HDR solution is providing more properties, basically, and the overall experience is significantly better.
Okay, that's interesting. Thank you very much, José-Antonio. By the way, if you've got any questions of your own, do post them into the web chat, and we will do our best to put some of those to our panelists at the end of the presentation. The other thing which is happening towards the end of the presentation, we'll be telling you about your chance to, if you like, experience the power of Dolby in your own home. And if you've got your phone, your mobile to hand, you might want to have it ready to snap these QR codes, which you can find out a little bit more and download the Dolby XP app, and then have a go with that in the comfort of your own living room, if you like. We'll hear from Ana López from Orange in a few moments' time. But first, we're going to find out about some of those set-top boxes and the other technological developments which Jose was telling us about a few moments ago. From Sagemcom, I'd like to introduce Olivier Bougaut. Olivier, off we go.
Thank you, Julian. Hello, I am Olivier Bougaut. I am in charge of Sagemcom Business Line for set-top box and audio products. Sagemcom is built around 3 BUs. The first one, dedicated to energy, provides energy metering to utilities. Broadband it's coming. Broadband on the left of your screen. Broadband solutions provide access gateway to telcos, and AVS, which stands for audio video solutions, previously set-top box, covers set-top box and now audio products. In our video range, you will find regular set-top box, which is still the majority of our production. You have as well a new product, which is the voice set-top box, which is a set-top box equipped with microphone to enable Google or Amazon Assistant and video call as well. Finally, the video soundbox is a unique product adding speakers homologated by Dolby Atmos and by Bang & Olufsen. I here thank Dolby for organizing this webinar and trust that all the viewers are very familiar with the produced brand of Bang & Olufsen. Bang & Olufsen brings the sound signature. On top of that, the VSB that you see on the right of the screen has a unique design, very square, very small form factor, avoiding the telco to face the retail market competition of the soundbar. The VSB is a unique product with unique effects on churn and NPS, and I will come back on this point. The scope of the video soundbox goes beyond the regular set-top box. It has, thanks to Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, a home cinema role with the video. Because it has speakers with Bang & Olufsen and Dolby Atmos, it brings also premium music with several actors, and within these actors, Amazon and Tidal are already available in Dolby Atmos, which is proving that you have contents coming like a wave to make the good experience of the customers. Farfield brings voice assistant and also TV control, and helps as well to use now video call on the set-top box, and this is the role, a feature that we have launched in some markets recently with the video soundbox. As a consequence, the time spent with the telco equipment has increased. You see, for instance, that the increased OTT time is true, and it is very important in terms of Atmos availability. As well, the music service didn't exist before on a regular set-top box. It is something where people are spending 20% of their day. Again, they can enjoy the Bang & Olufsen and the Atmos category of the product. Finally, you see that each people of the family can see the product and enjoy with it. It is a multi-user, multi-usage approach. therefore increasing the net promotion score. Again, I will follow up that in a moment. 11 telcos in 9 countries have launched the video sandbox for more than 2 years. We monitor the video sandbox customer NPS, net promoting score, and usage times I was just mentioning before. The VSB has been deployed everywhere. On the business, this slide reflects the two main model operator have chosen on ARPU, either a single model where the ARPU is an additional option of €5, for instance, for Orange, or in the second case, tier segmentation approach, where the product is completely integrated in a package. We are listing the telco playing on each category or each models. At the end, ARPU is increasing in average by €5, but NPS makes an impressive jump by 25 points compared to a regular set-top box. Meanwhile, the churn reduction goes up to 25%. While the sellout is concerned, I see every day a sellout between 10 and 30%. In average, over 2 years, the market witnessed a 20% sellout of the VSB compared to the regular set-top box. I am happy to share with you this unique positioning of Sagemcom, who's thanks to Dolby effort on Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, created the VSB for an unexpected benefit of the telco. If you want to experience the VSB emotion, join us at IBC.
Thank you very much, Olivier. I think I might actually book in an appointment with Sagemcom to take a look at that firsthand. I'm wondering, the success of VSB, how does that compare with previous product launches that you might have been involved with? Are you seeing the same sort of success, or maybe greater success than with previous innovations?
It's the same success as the 4K. If I refer to 4K, you remember the size of the screen, but it is going quicker. As you said, emotion comes for 50% by the sound. A scary movie, you remove the sound, it is not scary anymore. Okay, you know that by heart, beside Coppola. And therefore, if I compare the market with 4K in 2 years, I see the ramp up of the VSB, of Atmos and Vision on the single product going much faster.
Okay, that's interesting. Thank you very much, Olivier. If anybody has any additional questions for Olivier, you can post them in the box, and we'll take a look at that after our next presentation, which comes from Orange, and Ana López is waiting for us to tell us about Orange's involvement with Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos.
Well, hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So this is Ana López. I'm responsible of the product and analytics area at Arte Spain. Well, thanks José-Antonio for inviting me, and Julian and Olivier for being my partner in crime in this adventure. Well, I'm more than happy to share all our learnings, our insights after launching the VSB to the market, which in our case was like in March. We have been in the market like for a few months. We don't have much feedback, official feedback, but we are having some interesting insights. Why we went into this adventure? Well, it helped us. I don't agree somehow with José-Antonio and the initial proposition of smart TVs are getting cheaper, but we are using Dolby technology as a premium positioning. Orange wanted to shift the perception that we have in the market. We are very associated to sports, but we changed the strategy. We want to be on all the segments of premium content, and we had a partnership, and we bundled all the usual suspects: Netflix, Disney Plus, Prime Video, and also accompanying the football offer, DAZN. So we wanted, once we had this, all of the premium content that we could offer in the market, in the Spanish market, we wanted our customers to enjoy it with the best quality. And the Infinity Home Box has helped us to reach the customers with this positioning. We offer the best content, and you can enjoy it with the best quality, because on the set-top box we have the control of the experience, maybe not on the video side because it depends a lot on the TV, but on the audio experience we control it, and we control how the content is delivered to our customers, and we try to improve their experience.
And how important is it to differentiate within the Spanish market, having something like Dolby to hand? Does that give you an edge over some of your competitors, who sometimes, presumably, they'll also be doing deals with Netflix and Disney Plus and everyone else? So if you've got Dolby and they haven't, then presumably that gives something else you can tell your customers about.
Yeah, we always look at the first operator in Spain, which is Telefónica, and fortunately for us, they don't have this Dolby experience. So the VSB was something that differentiates us really in the market at the time of delivering the content. In fact, for example, apart from all the OTTs that have a lot of content on supporting Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, we would like to have, since we are delivering live sports, we would like to push this production on Dolby Atmos for sports, because that will be a very differentiated value for us.
Does it also help, in this industry, and we'll all be going to IBC next week, we'll be looking around. If you put aside the technology of Dolby, actually one great thing that they have is their brand, and it's one of those few industry brands that instantly also has customer recognition, and pretty good along the way too.
Yes, that's true. Even if you're not aware of the benefits, but you see Dolby and you immediately associate it with audio quality, at least. So this is something that adds value by itself, the brand itself. Do
you think that helped? That helps you sell that then to your customers? If you like, half the work is done for you by the 5 letters that make up the Dolby name.
Well, I don't know if half of the work, but it is true that mainly on the physical channels where we prescribe, because it's different to sell a TV service from the remote platforms or online. TV is something that you need to see and to hear and to test and to play with. And on this case, on the VSB launch, people from sales channels, the physical sales channels, are very happy because they can demo this service to the customers, and the feedback is really, really good. We are working with José-Antonio to get materials that exploit the best experience. So we can, in a few minutes, we can take the most of the set-top box and complete this sales to customers, because it's immediate. The quality is perceived, and they are perfectly aware that it's a very the step from the entry set-top box to this premium set-top box, it's very high.
And was it important for you to offer both Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos? Was there ever a thought, we'll launch one and then we'll wait several months before we go with the other? Or is it the combined package that makes it attractive to you and your customers?
Well, I think that the effort and all the positioning, it makes it easier and more consistent to do both things at the same time.
And you touched on it a little earlier, but the content that's available for you in Dolby, are the broadcasters helping you along, particularly the local broadcasters, TVE and the big commercial channels as well?
Well, in broadcasters and regular PayTV channels, I think that they are doing some steps, but still are not in the position we would like them to be. But as I was mentioning, we have integrated Netflix catalog, Disney Plus catalog, Prime Video catalog, and we don't forget that sometimes we talk about doing things TV-centric. In this case, and with the VSB, what we are trying to do is making more living room-centric and go a step beyond the the regular video content. We are focusing on interface. We are promoting a lot of music, games, lifestyle, other kind of contents that customers can enjoy. We recently have reached an agreement also with Music Unlimited, so our customers can also enjoy music services with the capabilities of Dolby Atmos. Well, even if we don't have the regular broadcasters or the regular channels on board yet, we have a lot of content that customers are discovering and are enjoying. We are seeing, as Olivier was showing before, we are seeing that OTT consumption has increased a lot. It's not cannibalizing the regular linear TV consumption, it's increasing. And it's amazing. I don't know how many hours of a regular person has a day, but what we have seen is that the OTT consumption is like doubled, and in the case of the music service, it's tripled sometimes. So customers are more engaged, are more happy, so the NPS is higher. I mean, and it also helps us to position as a premium operator. It brings more revenues. I mean, we are really happy with this launch.
It's an interesting one because I can see several things are kind of going on there. First of all, you're offering your customers a big bundle. You're trying to, as far as I can see here, just pack it with value, basically, and add different things. And I guess we're seeing from, I think it's RTL in Germany, which is also trying to construct a bundle, which also, like yourselves, includes music and other things. And I guess it's also the kind of thing that Apple is doing for its customers. And clearly within this, you're adhering to the title of this particular webinar of keeping the service at the heart of the living room, and using Olivier's box to basically keep people bound into your service.
We're reuniting families.
What's in terms of the market reaction? What's are your competitors now looking over with envious eyes as to the packages that you're offering?
Well, Movistar, in fact, is following like the other way around. It's more they were previously a big bundle, and you need to pay a lot of money on a monthly basis for that. And they changed their strategy, and they are going for more in a cherry picking mode. What we have done is to build this portfolio with really a lot of value, but separating both sports offer and premium content offer. If you want it all, it's perfect, but we don't force our customers to subscribe football for if they want to enjoy Netflix or if they want to enjoy Disney. And this also allows us to grow more healthy, because otherwise we are really dependent of the seasonality of the football. And in this way, we grow more on the football season when the football season starts. Now it's our period. But then when there's no activity on the football side, we can still grow because our offer is prepared for that.
Anna, thank you very much for spending time with us. Anybody's got any questions for Anna, now is the time to sort of add them into the little box. I notice one's just popped up already, so I'll let Anna have a breather for a moment, and I'll throw another question at Jose to start off with. You've got a question yourself, do please add it in. Is this a rather good one, actually? How prepared are the linear TV broadcasters right now for HDR and the encoding of Dolby in their linear TV transmissions? I kind of got the impression from Anna that maybe in Spain not so, but what about in other markets?
Is that a question addressed to me?
It is, yes. Although anybody else can pick up if they wish.
Fortunately, we can say that it depends very much on the different countries. So there are some countries that are very, very mature in that sense. Regarding Dolby, we have prepared and we have deployed all the tools that are necessary to make that happen. And well, I would just advise you to come to our Dolby website, where you can find basically all the information about the services that are deployed with many testimonials, etc., and many case studies that you can basically, get a lot of information about that.
I guess we saw quite a few familiar logos in your slide,
yeah.
A little a little earlier on, which is is a good thing. Yeah, absolutely. You know, is everything from the Dolby suite in both Vision and Atmos, the broadcasters? There's no, I guess these days there is no difference really between what can be offered on a terrestrial network to what can go down an IP network, providing you just have the bandwidth to do it.
More and more are trying to converge. So basically, the ultimate purpose is to offer exactly the same, no matter what the mean is going to be used. Okay,
right. Let's move on. Another question that we have here. Oh, I don't know who wants to take this one actually. I'm afraid it might be one for Jose again, but why are the content rights holders, particularly those in live content, why are they resisting in distributing Dolby Atmos, even when, oh, I see, I think this is turn the question around a little bit. I think the questioner was basically saying, well, sometimes Dolby Atmos is available. It might be, let me think, perhaps an international football match, and it's in Dolby Atmos, say, and it's available everywhere, but a broadcaster isn't taking it. What would be the reasons behind that? I guess multiple and various, but what would be the key decisions as to why that doesn't happen?
That's a very good question. So, as I said before, there are many sports events when it comes to sport that they are produced natively in Dolby Atmos, and some of them also in Dolby Vision. That could be the case of, for instance, you said different national leagues, football leagues, and the thing is that why they are not taking the international feed that is being offered in Dolby Atmos, for instance, is probably one of them is going to be the commentators, that they need to do an extra effort. So it's easy in some of the cases when it is English speaking languages countries to take the international feed, which is something that is been significantly improving step by step. And there are some companies that they are even offering the service where they are just putting the commentator, adding in the local language, and just offering it directly in a very straightforward way. So the thing is that answering your question, I think it's more related to the lack of knowledge from some of the right holders and the takers of those feeds, that there are very easy ways and very straightforward ways of delivering that content in Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision, taking that feed.
Okay, thank you, Jose. A question for Ana. Does the use of Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, is that giving you, would you say, extra subscription revenue? And also, is it also leading, any signs of it leading to less churn?
Well, we haven't had time yet to measure officially the dates of NPS, churn, and so on, because we need to have some months in the field to get this data more accurate. So what we see now is the engagement and the activity, because sometimes we have customers with a regular set-top box that they are not consuming them. It's not matching the install base with all the active users. What we see now is that all the customers that have an Infinity Home box are using the service, and the engagement is higher and higher than the regular ones. In the coming weeks, we will have the official data, but I think that if someone is using the set-top box, I mean, we are very confident that it will lead to a less churn and a higher official NPS. That's,
yes, I think
we don't have data yet.
Yeah, saw some of that usage data a little earlier on, I think. We've got about 5 minutes left, so I better be very quick with this last question for Olivier before I ask Jose to tell us a little bit more about getting Dolby in your own home for a little test. You can play with it tonight or over the weekend, perhaps. Olivier, simple explanation really of what we need. What does the VSB box plug into, and how would the user do that? I guess we're talking HDMI, maybe an optical plug. What are the connectors on the back of the box?
So
even better, we can see. You turn it around.
Designed by Orange, and frankly, it's the most beautiful in the market. If you want to see the rear panel, you have indeed HDMI, okay, to the TV, and the sound is rendered by the VSB itself. Then you have the Wi-Fi for connecting with the gateway to the network, and behind that the fiber. The main connection is the HDMI for the Dolby Vision, and the Atmos is rendered by this both Dolby and Bang & Olufsen.
I guess if we come to your stand at IBC, we might have a play with that, which would be quite a good idea. We'll do that. Now, before we go, Jose, I'm going to hand over to you because you tell us about, first of all, what Dolby has at IBC itself, and also talking, and there they are, about the QR codes and how we can use them.
Yeah, sure. So one of the things that we would like is that you could experience yourself the beauty of this immersive experience, all both visual and auditive. So for that purpose, we have prepared an app which is called Dolby XP app that you can download either from Apple Store or from Play. And you need to use those credentials, in which basically once you access, you will have the opportunity in the comfort of your home to experience some clips. And I think that will be very, very valuable for you to have a better understanding of what it means when we are talking about engaging experiences from a user point of view. I'm gonna text, there you are, both the ID and the password, so you can copy directly from the chat box for the rest of the users. Any question when trying to download that? If there's any doubt or whatever, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and I will help you to try it in the proper way.
That is excellent. I found it very, very easy to do whilst listening to you there. And you're also clearly you're going to be at IBC as well next week. Exactly.
So during IBC, fortunately, we are going to have plenty demos where you can experience directly all that we have talked about. We have some enclosed demos. We're showing obviously this disruptive format. We are going to have also from a creative point of view in terms of from a broadcaster operators. So talking about workflows, how to enable your own workflow, your own workflows, etc. And together with Sagemcom will be also there at IBC, and you can see exactly where you can locate us in the trade show. So most of the demos are gonna be required to pre-booked. So please, as soon as you decide to visit us, please reach out to us to make sure that we can show you properly.
That's great. Well, I'm sure we're all looking forward to IBC next week. Thank you all very much for giving up your time to take part in this webinar this afternoon. Thank you very much as well for you for staying with us. I hope that you found it entertaining and most importantly informative. And do feel free to reach out in particular to Dolby if you want to find out anything more. For now, though, thank you very much and a very good afternoon.
Likewise, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.